Spiritual reflections. 10. Signs of spiritual presence in your home. Signs of spirits with you. Have you ever felt a strange presence in your home? Or maybe you've encountered unexplained noises at night when everything seems silent. What if I told you that these experiences could be signs that spirits are communicating with you? The Spiritist doctrine teaches that we are not alone on the material plane. The spiritual world is vast and full of interactions with our daily lives. In this video, we'll explore 10 signs that may indicate the presence of spirits in your house. Many of us live with these signs without realizing that we are being accompanied by spirits who have passed away. They could be spirits of loved ones, spiritual mentors, or even obsessors whose intentions can vary. What's more, did you know that many of these signs can be clues to understanding our past lives and our spiritual evolution? Let's dive deeper into this topic. The relevance of spiritual study. If you're here, you've likely had some kind of strange experience or perception in your life. Maybe you've felt a chill, suddenly seen a shadow, or even heard unexplainable sounds. These signs aren't coincidences, they're part of the communication process between the physical and spiritual worlds. But how do you know if it's really a spirit? And how can you protect yourself from these influences? Throughout this video, I'll show you the most common signs that spirits are communicating with you. This might seem intriguing, but there's no reason to be afraid. Understanding these signs is the first step to increasing your spirituality, protecting yourself, and developing a stronger connection to the spiritual plane. If you're interested in topics like reincarnation, mediumship, and the interaction between the material and spiritual worlds, this video is for you. Stay with me until the end and discover how to improve your spiritual connection and understand more about what's happening around you. 1. Pet discomfort, a sharpened spiritual perception. Anyone with animals at home, especially dogs and cats, knows how sensitive they are. It's not uncommon for a dog to suddenly start barking at nothing, or for a cat to behave strangely, staring fixedly at an empty corner. This happens because animals have a keener spiritual perception than we do. Studies show that animals can sense energetic changes around them much more intensely than humans. While we, as human beings, are more connected to the physical and material world, they are more connected to the spiritual world. Therefore, when a spirit is nearby, especially if it's the spirit of someone they had a bond with, animals can sense their presence and react accordingly. For example, if your dog starts barking at nothing, or if your cat moves away from a certain spot without reason, it might be that they've detected the presence of a spirit. But be careful. If the animal seems agitated, afraid, or uncomfortable, this could be a sign that the spirit present is not a benevolent one, but rather an obsessor. What to do? Observe your pet's behavior. If they are acting unusually, try to notice if there is any change in the environment. This could be a sign that something is happening on the spiritual plane. 2. Unexplained noises. Voices from the beyond. One of the most common signs that spirits are communicating with you is the appearance of unexplained noises. You might hear a door slam, footsteps echoing, or objects falling without any logical explanation. These noises can be used by spirits to get your attention. Obsessors often use this method because they know that the sound of something unexpected can cause fear and unease. These noises can be a way for spirits to manifest and communicate. They may be simply trying to get your attention, or, in the case of obsessor spirits, trying to instill fear. What to do? When you hear these sounds, stay calm and observe your surroundings. If the sounds repeat or increase in intensity, it can be helpful to say a prayer or invoke spiritual protection to cleanse the environment and ward off negative influences. 3. Passing shadows, the peripheral spiritual vision. Who hasn't encountered a shadow passing in their peripheral vision and upon trying to look directly, found no one there? This is one of the clearest signs that a spirit is trying to manifest. When a spirit moves through a space, it isn't necessarily seen clearly. Often, its image can appear only in peripheral vision, like a shadow or a translucent figure. Spirits manifest in various ways, and these shadowy figures are a common form of spiritual manifestation. In many cases, when a person's mediumship is developed, or even during moments of heightened sensitivity, they can perceive the spirit's passage through this type of perception. What to do? If you notice these shadows, try to stay calm. They can be signs of loved ones or even spiritual mentors who are there to help. At the same time, it may be a good idea to strengthen your connection to the spiritual plane by seeking protection and understanding what this presence means for you. 4. Objects that move on their own. The invisible touch of the spirit. Have you ever left a pen, key, or another object in a specific spot, only to return to find it gone? Often, the object appears in a different place, and you end up wondering how it happened. Objects that move on their own are a clear sign of spiritual manifestation. Spirits use the mediumistic energy of the household residents to physically move objects. These object movements are common in environments where there is active spiritual energy, and the spirit may be trying to make contact. Often spirits who have passed away may move objects to get a person's attention, signaling their presence. What to do? When you notice these movements, try not to panic. Say a prayer asking for spiritual protection and ask the spirit to manifest in a clearer and calmer way. 5. Electronic manifestations, the energy of the spirit in action. Have you ever had a TV turn off by itself or a computer turn on and off without explanation? These types of phenomena are very common in homes where there are spiritual influences, from both obsessor spirits and spiritual mentors. Spirits can interfere with electronic devices as a way to manifest using the mediumistic energy of the residents to control these devices. These phenomena can be used by spirits to get your attention, especially if you are ignoring the spiritual presence or if the environment's energy is dense and negative. What to do? If you notice that electronic devices are acting unusually, check for technical faults and, if necessary, seek spiritual help. Perform prayers for energetic cleansing of your home and remain calm, as this type of manifestation is often a way for spirits to communicate. 6. Physical aggressions. The sign of dense spirituality. In some cases, you might feel inexplicable physical aggressions, like an invisible tap, hair tugging, or even the feeling of being pushed or touched. These phenomena can be extremely disturbing, but they may indicate the presence of a spirit that for some reason is trying to manifest in a more direct and physical way. These aggressions are more common with obsessors, spirits who have no good intentions and seek to affect or destabilize the person in their environment. Such spirits may be using the mediumistic energy of the residents to cause these physical manifestations. This phenomenon isn't as common, but it can occur when a spirit tries to interact more intensively with the physical environment. What obsessors are often seeking is the emotional energy generated by fear, anger, or frustration from the people living there. What to do? If you experience these physical aggressions, it's important to stay calm. Invoking spiritual protection, saying prayers, and seeking guidance at spiritist centers can help to ward off these energies and restore harmony to your home. 7. The feeling of being watched, invisible eyes. Have you ever felt like you were being watched without knowing exactly by whom? Sometimes we're at home and get that feeling that someone is watching us, but when we look around, there's no one visible. This sensation of being watched is quite common when spirits are present in an environment. Our spiritual perception is often sharper than we imagine. When spirits are nearby, especially those who have an emotional connection with us, they tend to observe in silence. This sensation of being watched can be more intense at night, when the mind is more relaxed and more open to spiritual perceptions. What to do? If this feeling persists, strengthen your spiritual connection with prayers for protection and purification of the environment. Remember that not all spirits who watch us have negative intentions. It could be that a loved one or spiritual mentor is simply close by, offering their presence and protection. 8. Unexplained odors, scents from the beyond. Another very common sign that spirits are trying to communicate is the appearance of unexplained odors. You might smell flowers, perfume, or even cigarettes when there's no logical explanation for it. These odors are frequently a way for spirits to manifest themselves. For example, if you smell roses or a specific perfume, it could be a sign that a loved one, especially one who has passed on, is communicating with you. Some spirits, like spiritual mentors or guides, can also send pleasant scents to create a sense of peace and comfort. However, in other cases, unpleasant odors, such as the smell of rotting meat or cigarettes, can be signs of obsessor spirits who are trying to cause discomfort and fear in the environment. What to do? If the odors are pleasant, welcome them as a positive sign that a spiritual presence is by your side. If they are unpleasant, pray for spiritual protection and ask for the help of your mentors to cleanse the environment of any negative energy. 9. The feeling of being touched or touching, an invisible touch. Feeling an unexpected touch on your body is another common sign that spirits are interacting with you. This often happens when you feel a light touch on your shoulder, arm, or hair. It's not uncommon for people, when relaxed or in moments of introspection, to feel inexplicably touched. This type of physical manifestation can be a clear sign that a spirit is trying to communicate with you. In many cases, these physical manifestations are caused by spirits who have passed away and are trying to establish an emotional connection with the resident of the house. This can be a manifestation of affection from a loved one or an attempt at more direct communication. What to do? When you feel this touch, stay calm and try to notice what's happening around you. Talk to the spirit if that feels right for you, and ask them to manifest in a clearer way if they wish. 10. Hearing voices, spiritual communication. Through sound. Hearing voices, whispers, or even crying can be a clear sign that a spirit is trying to communicate with you. Sometimes you might hear someone call your name, or even voices whispering something in the background, but when you look, you find no one. This can be a sign that spirits who have passed away are trying to communicate with you. These voices could be from loved ones who want to make their presence known, or they could be obsessors who are trying to influence your mind in a negative way. Voices are generally a form of auditory manifestation and can occur both during the day and at night. What to do? If the voices are comforting and pleasant, accept them as a positive manifestation. Otherwise, pray to ward off negative spiritual influences and seek spiritual guidance. How to deal with spiritual presences in your life. Now that you know the 10 signs that spirits are communicating with you, it's time to become more conscious and aware of the spiritual manifestations around you. Developing your spirituality and strengthening your connection to the spiritual plane is the first step to dealing with these presences in a calmer and more balanced way. If you are feeling more aware of these spiritual manifestations, subscribe to our channel now to continue learning about the Spiritist doctrine and how to deal with spirituality in your daily life. Don't forget to turn on notifications to receive more videos that can help clarify your doubts and bring more peace and harmony into your life. And remember, spreading the Spiritist doctrine is an act of charity, so share this video with your friends and family. Let's work together to expand light and spiritual understanding. If you've experienced any of these signs, share your experiences in the comments and let me know how you deal with them in your daily life. I'm looking forward to hearing how the content has impacted your spiritual journey. Until the next video, and may the peace and protection of the enlightened spirits be with you.